that's us on just now. So who would like to do a recap of what happened last week when we played Dungeons and Dragons?
People returned to scale, to our wee island. The island was flooded because of the appearance of a third moon. Half of the supplies floated out to sea, which was great. And then we spent most of the rest of the session trying to transport up to some ruins that we had scouted out and found nearby, which turned out to be Tiamat Shrine with a giant-ass dragon skeleton in it. But due to ignoring some people's uncomfortable feelings, we decided to set up shop there anyway. And I think, yeah, and then we planned out what we were going to do this week, which was stop in at the hamlet and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's about. Sorry, I'm just there's a hair in my sock. It's cheese wearing my cheek.
Hair in your what?
My sock.
As there often is.
Yeah, there often
hairs
is
in your
actually,
sock every day.
Yeah, but like one of my head ones, one really long one, just all wrapped around my toes and stuff.
Oh,
That's
I
bad.
hate
Sorry.
that.
Yeah.
Not good.
Anyways, let me. Where's my notes? So I mucked something up last week when I gave you that detail map. Specifically, I mucked up the scale of it by about a factor of 4. So when I had said that the ruins were half an hour away on that map, they're actually about 2 hours away from where the ship is. Which may affect your guys, but like I can't keep the scale I mucked it up to because that would mean that scale is like like if I kept the scale I mucked it up to, then it would mean that the island, like the whole ass island is like, I don't know, the size of like Gibraltar or something, which it's not. So there's a new map. Jacali Harbor Regional Detail Session 122. Skaboof. And then me.
That's a map.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So now every hex on that is now accurate to be about an hour's walk.
So is that affected at all what happened last week?
It's really up to you guys. If the distance affects
like
how you
no.
would have planned, then yes. It doesn't have any. I'm not fussed about any effects on like the timing of stuff that went down last week or anything like that because we weren't keeping super strict track of it anyways.
Okay, yeah, cool.
It does mean that the hamlet is a little further away than had been suggested last week, which may change your guys' plans.
2 hour walk?
Yeah, so it's one. So from where you are, 1, 2, yeah, about 2.5 hours. I've also updated the scale map, which is now scale 2. So let me share that one as well. Skajuice. So I've now put Bale and Estate on it because you guys have been asking about it.
Wow.
So this is the actual scale of scale.
The actual scale.
The actual scale of scale.
Actual scale.
Yeah. So save you guys working it out. I don't need that document. I need the other one.
It's going to be a long ass fucking walk.
Yeah. So
Are those mountains on scale to scale?
roughly. In terms of the map scale, yeah, sure. They're about.
I'm just thinking, just in case we were to scale the scaly scale.
So if you're scaling scale at that scale, then Balin Estate is about a week's walk from the ship and then a week walk back.
Okay.
Because you have to travel through the mountains if you're trying to pass by the Ulris bit, and traveling through the mountains is harder, steeper, and more complicated, so it takes twice as long as a hex would suggest.
I feel like that'll take us a week in real time as well. Because whenever you go through the mountains, you bump into someone.
Who am I?
That is kind of a hope.
True.
So yeah, you guys are in the shrine of Tiamat that you have discovered. So who are you? You're leaving some people. Actually, hang on. First of all, who is feeling brave?
Me.
Okay, can someone who's feeling brave drop a d6 in the little tower at the bottom of the screen so it comes to me?
Oh.
Fate's in your
Yeah.
hands.
This is a good
no
roll, isn't it?
Can you
It's
see
good.
what the result is?
No.
No.
Oh,
it
cool.
only goes to you.
Doubly cool. Okay.
Oh, no, why is it? Come on.
So yeah, so you guys are in the Shrine of Tiamat. So you left some people on the ship, and you had brought some people up to the shrine. So who have you left where? In kind of broad terms.
I've only left roughly a handful of soldiers, so like roughly 5, and then 3 crew members.
Okay.
So,
Which crew members?
Don't pick your favorite ones.
No, Waylon has to come with us because I want good food. If I go, I need the food. I'll leave Morzia. Zita, do you want your sister left on the ship, or would you prefer in the shrine?
I'd probably prefer to take her with us if
Okay.
wherever we're going.
I'm gonna be honest, I only remember the
on the
names
ship.
of the crew members that I like and want with me. So,
Just so far, Waylon.
well, I know Waylon, Nalon, Morzia, Gek, Feral, but I want all of them with me except Morzia. Morzia can stay.
You've also got, who else you got? You got Trinicus, you got Perix, you got Feral,
Trinicus,
you got,
Petrix. How did I forget Petrix?
you've got Rathcran, the guy you met
Rathcran,
in
that's
Dwarf
the guy
Sea.
I always forget.
And you got Jenna as well.
Oh, fucking Jenna. I'll leave Jenna and Rathcran with Morzia.
Okay.
And 5 troops.
Sure.
Who have I
I
got
want
to
to keep a
leave or
low
bring, Jake?
profile.
Well, you've got your mum, and you've got you and Aaron's
I
mum.
brought her.
I mean, just bring everyone. I'm only leaving a few people to protect this ship.
Well, that's why I was going to leave, what's his name? Samir. Is that his name?
Samorn.
Samorn, you want to leave
Samorn.
like your right-hand man just on a ship.
Well, just this last time you were like, we should leave him because we don't want to bring everybody.
At once, I meant leave him in the camp to look over the people while they were sitting there, so that
Okay,
nothing
I'll
went
bring him
astray
then.
while we were moving.
Get him up here.
All right. 5 soldiers. Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. So yeah, you guys are in the Shrine of Tiamat. You've shifted everyone up here and all the stuff. They're pitching camp outside. You can see on the regional map. That means you've now taken this bit. It's yours. You've got another little red zone belonging to you. And then around this shrine, and everyone is basically, it's kind of middle afternoon. Everyone is basically just kind of going through the standard procedures of setting up a new camp. They're checking through all the supplies after some of them washed away. One of the soldiers you can see is like their legs super bandaged up because some mad scaly dragon shark thing tried to have a go at them when they were trying to recover some supplies. So they're currently in the shrine under sort of like a makeshift medical area, in no small amount of pain. Otherwise, people are just kind of taking stock of the situation, pitching tents, gathering supplies and stock taking and things like that. What are you guys gonna do?
Okay.
Can I try cure wounding that person that's got the
Sure, yeah.
the gammy leg? Try out the healing instead
Sure.
of just punching Rick with it.
Out of curiosity, which legion is he from?
He is from. He is 6th Legion.
Okay, that's cool. I don't care then.
My Legion.
Jake, I'll use my nature skills or whatever to look for supplies where we are.
Sure.
See if
Okay.
we can add anything to the missing stuff.
Okay.
It'll be veg, but you know.
Lyda's curing wounds. Crafton's out foraging. Is anyone else doing anything?
I'm going to get some men and set up like a watch perimeter,
Sure. Okay.
and then set up a rota so that people switch in and out. So there's always someone watch out.
Okay. Anyone else for anything else?
Can I go see if Get found his knife?
No, he's wandering around kind of like despondent.
Oh no.
He kicks the dirt occasionally. So Lydia, you're going over to heal this chap, are you?
Yeah.
Sure. You kind of head over to him. He's like, there's a one of the other legionaries is there, like just checking the bandages. It's been a couple hours now. They had to carry him here on a stretcher, which is kind of fair track. So he's lying there in the stretcher, kind of going, "Ugh," and kind of drifting in and out of consciousness and groaning. He doesn't really seem to notice you. Come over.
I'll just go up to the leg, start rubbing my hands together, get a flame thing going, and healing hands with
Sure.
my cure wounds or whatever.
Okay, so anyone else in the kind of command center can watch the like sort of sneak up and she rubs their hands together and they start to kind of glow orange, and she kind of.
Am I gonna get smoked for doing this inside of a Belarius temple?
She like
Not Belarius,
touches
so
him around the affected area, and he kind of goes, "Ah!" And then kind of like sort of he kind of has quite a visceral reaction, and then sort of it's like and the other person who's doing the bandages is like just kind of looks at you and is like, what did you do?
I cured the wounds? Maybe?
He's the guy on the. He's like, it does feel better. Oh.
I lift up one of the bandages and have a peek underneath.
Sure, it's pretty nasty. There's like he's gonna have like big like teeth scars in his calf, from being eaten by like a dragon shark thing. But the skin is kind of formed over it, and it looks like it just looks really sweaty under there right now. The bandages don't look great, but like blood seems to all have clotted and things like that. It doesn't look too bad for someone who's been bitten by a shark.
I guess I'll spend the rest of the time just like helping cleaning it up, I guess. Try and increase my general medical knowledge.
Sure, okay.
Rather than just magical healing.
Sure. Yeah, so you sit with the medic and they're going through that. Okay, right, so we're going to undress this and, replace that. And, okay, and then, can you go over there and grab some rum from over there? I'm like, okay, cool, yeah. So you're sitting there and doing medical stuff. Rafton, meanwhile, you're out foraging, are you?
I am.
Sure. Give us a nature check.
I got 7.
7.
Which is the lowest I could have got.
So.
That's in that one though, with my modifier. I don't know if that makes a difference.
It only makes a difference in a fight.
Okay.
So you're not like, this is a kind of weird ecology around here. It's sort of like a Mauritius kind of environment. That kind of somewhat tropical almost. So you're not super sure what to look for. You find some herbs and you're like, these feel like they're probably useful for something, either flavoring or for medical reasons. You don't find any like exciting like berries or anything like that, but you do find some stuff that you think will be useful.
Okay.
And then Aaron, you're going and scouting out a perimeter, right?
Yeah, just grabbing some guards and setting up a perimeter.
Sure. So like, okay, sir. So how many rotas do you want?
Only have people in pairs of 2 and have them on for maximum of 2 hours, and then have them swap out.
All right, sir. And what are we to do if we spot him?
It's a good question.
Do you want us to?
Report.
Should we be?
I wouldn't say attack. Not
Okay.
straight away. They might be good.
Okay.
Send one person to report. The other one keeps an eye on the situation. Try to
Alright.
stay unseen.
Okay. Real light fire, sir.
Preferably not.
Okay.
Don't want smoke to give you away.
Okay.
Also, if there's multiple watch points, can maybe also set up like something in the tree or just a wee hut that's disguised from the ground, somewhere for you to sit and not get seen.
Okay. Sure thing, sir. All right. Well, are you drawing up the rota, or is the captain doing it, or?
I'll have Balex draw up the rota.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll just take point for now.
Yeah, take point for now. In about 2 hours, you'll have some replacements come out.
All right, sir. You might have like a special like 8th Legion salute. I don't really know. If you do, they do it.
Oh, sick. Nice.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, about half an hour goes by while you guys are doing your respective business. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Is there other people injured? I could just kind of walking around, or
Not massively. It's really just a shark bite guy over there who's had any kind of.
There was a request for Gex new NIF.
that's right. Is
That was
there
put in
any
last week.
sort of like smithing facilities here,
Can you
Jake?
just say no fire?
Like power? Just to
Not
I said
yet.
no fire on the perimeter.
Okay.
No.
It's the sort of thing that could be, like, there is. It's the sort of thing that could be produced, but it would take like maybe like a week or so to get like an actual smithy up and running, like, and sufficient for actually doing the sort of work that would be needed by like a military unit.
But
building all
for a small GEC, not a military unit.
Hang on. Can I just try and do some I don't know what the word is, but rough forging with just like what I have, like a
Sure.
hammer and my little mini anvil and some metal, and heating it up and
Okay.
forming a knife.
Sure. Give us a
Rude.
give
do
us
that.
a Smith's tools check with your wisdom, probably.
One second, I need to. How do I do a Smith's tools check?
Oh, wait, hold on. If I cast heat metal on something, could Rurik then?
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, that's fine.
There we go.
Teamwork!
You got a mobile furnace over here. Cool. Yeah.
Probably some really nasty chemical reaction things you really don't want to be breathing in, but oh well.
How can I do a Smith's tools check?
I don't know how you do it in Fantasy Grounds. Just roll the d20.
Roll D20.
I'll start with that, I guess.
Yeah.
If
usually
it's a 1, then
Okay, 6.
okay.
Wisdom's +5. Efficiency's +5 now. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be.
Cool. I should change my level to 13 actually.
It says what? 16.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. 16.
Can I give him +6?
Sure.
not?
Yeah. Okay.
Damn.
Really? 22 then.
So Rurik does a survey. He's like, there's no fortress here. I'm not gonna do it. I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can. And then sits down and starts going, and Muir comes over and it's like, oh no, see if we do this, and pulls out this thing like, see, look, there you go, like a little like gas burner. I'm like, okay, and then she is able to like turbocharges it to get it a bit more juice, and you're able to actually get this a small piece of metal to a reasonably workable heat. You're like, okay, and you produce actually quite a nice knife for for the target audience and for the tools and circumstances you produced it under. It's like it'll do pretty well.
Cool. I'll try and inscribe a little red Gek tribe symbol in the blade.
Sure, yeah, you can do that, yeah. Sure, yeah. So you take probably about half an hour, 40 minutes, and you're able to produce something satisfactory and presentable.
Does Naren see the new knife?
I mean, if I guess unless Rurek's trying to hide it from him.
Silence Smith. Every hammer hit is actually just air. Hiding it from Naren.
Just a cough every time we hit it.
I'll go over to Naren when I'm done and be like, hey, here's the knife you asked for.
I'll look at it. And I'll be like, I don't remember asking for a knife.
I'm sure you asked for a knife.
No.
Gek always has a knife.
Yeah? Where's that little piece of paper I gave you, Rurek, with the note on it?
Piece of paper.
Gek kind of passed over.
No, well, you've
Narm,
made it now. You
Narm.
might as well just give it to him.
Narm, what do? Balax says, come ask you.
Rurek's made you a nice special gift. Unfortunately, he has a bit of a shit memory, but it's fine. Listen,
it's like a week went by in the last hour.
But in game, it's been 2 hours.
The man's just been to the moon. Give him a break.
Gek, here you go. I heard you lost your knife. So here's a new one.
Nuff!
Mm-hmm.
Nuff! He kind of starts like running around.
Careful with that. It's probably a lot
No!
sharper than your old one.
No, I will not be careful! And he scalps it off. Legs it.
Wait, he scalps it off what?
He himself scalps himself. I don't know why he scalps. I don't know. It came to me. He shoots off and is like running around the camp. You can hear him yelling.
Oh boy. He's going to terrorize whatever poor soul he comes across first.
Hey, be careful with that. Ah! Sure. So yeah, by this point, about an hour has gone by. Everything seems to be well underway. You all kind of, tend to the errands you had prescribed yourselves, and all kind of roughly about the same time kind of finish your duties and tasks. And then what is your guys' plan?
It must be late in the day at this point, right? If we've
It's getting to kind of dinner
traveled
time, yeah.
across.
Can I go find Gek and show him how to whittle? If he's got a new knife?
Sure, yeah.
Before he stabs someone by accident?
Yeah, so you go off and it's not that difficult to find Gek because he leaves a bit of kind of trail of destruction behind him. You can largely locate him by the looks of shock on everyone's faces as they're like kind of sorting through like crates of supplies, and he is currently, you can see him in the distance. He's talking to Zorgar's mom and like showing her the knife.
Oh boy.
Just
Doesn't Zorgar's mum have a new baby?
No, Zorgar's mom is kind of, she's holding the egg a little closer than normal. But she's like, oh, that's marvelous, that's wonderful. A knife! How brilliant! Aren't you clever?
Nice.
Yes, it's very pretty. Yes, and Mura's kind of walks up and she said, "Look, Mura, Gek has a knife. Isn't that tremendous?"
Wow. It is tremendous. Well, what's
Yes.
the first one called again? Was it Sora? Am I making that up?
That's their
her
mum.
actual mum.
Oh, God.
Zorgar's
This is fake mum.
yeah, Zorgar's so that's their mother. Zorgar's mum is called Nishan.
Alright, Nishan, okay.
And he's like, "Look, see, Mura, have you seen my knife?
I have seen.
Rourke made it for me. Yeah, see.
I
Hold
have
still. I will
seen.
show you how good it is."
Oh no! How about I show you? How about I show you something really cool you can do that, and everyone will be really jealous of you.
You died that day.
Sense of trap.
Really cool. Oh no, we're using Nif. With Nif.
Okay.
Okay, let's I've got some bits of wood. What's your favorite thing in the entire world?
Nif.
Sure, okay. Take him over to sit to somewhere. It's like, okay, we're gonna make a little Nif out of wood with your Nif.
But I have a Nif.
But it's for fun. And then you can have many Nifs. You can have as many Nifs as you want.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's make Nif. Okay, how do? He just starts
sure.
kind of clonking the.
No, nice and gentle, just like that.
Oh, okay, like you are. Like make pointy stick for trap.
Yes, but for fun.
Oh, that's a good point. I could have given Gek
Trap-
the job of
traps is
setting
fun.
traps. Oh, I should have done that. I will do that when he's done whittling.
Yeah, he takes to whittling pretty well. He's working away at it.
You don't have to worry for our lives. Yeah.
Why are you whittling, Mer?
I'm whittling a sheep. Oh yeah, it's how's my sheep?
It's alright. It's bounding around. Quite excited by this new look. Everything that's going on here is a lot of vegetation to investigate. New environs and everything. It's kind of just sort of roaming freely. And comes in and checks in every now and then. Bounds off. Why you whittle sheep? You already have sheep.
Oh, I had a. When did Get come about? Was that after Big Sheep? I'm trying to remember.
Gek came from when we revisited
Oh.
where
Yeah.
we fought the Black Dragon.
Yeah.
After
Yeah,
the Willows.
And I had an even bigger sheep at one point. It was almost the size of me.
That is too big for sheep.
Why? What's wrong with that?
They
Almost 8 times as much to love. Very fluffy.
You saying you love your sheep and
Can't keep
eighth
with
of the amount of rainbow?
Nard, I swear to God. Did you just walk past?
Yeah. So he'll sit and whittle away with his knife. So yeah, it's getting to be about 5 or 6 o'clock at night right now, and then Darren, after you've set up the perimeter, what are you doing? Are you just going back to the command center?
Yeah, probably speak to Balax about the rotor and then speak to Gek about setting up traps in the morning.
Sure.
Specifying non-deadly ones and to let the people on watch know where they are so that we don't step into them.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So you go to see Balax. He's like, Commander.
Is this before or after I've spoken to him about the rotor?
Before.
Before, okay. I'm setting up a perimeter. Gonna have 2-man groups stationed all around the camp to make sure no one sneaks up on us. Just like you to set up a rota so they swap out every 2 hours, so they don't get too tired. They're under orders to, if they see something, one of them is to report and one of them is to keep their eyes on it and not get seen if possible.
Alright, sir. Is this purely for the 8th, or do you want me to involve some of the other units?
Involve everyone. I'm sure Zorgar's Legion will be happy to help too.
Alright. I'll take care of that just now. He's gonna, as he says, I'll take care of that. There's like someone charges in, kind of panting out of breath, says, Commander! Commander! There's a Drake! Towards the ship.
I forgot about the damn Drakes. Towards the ship.
It's circling it right now.
Circling the ship? Oh, fuck. Just one?
Just one.
Okay, the ship was fairly well covered, right? It was up against a wall and it was...
We had covered it with vines, sir, yeah.
Shit. It's better to be safe than sorry, though, I guess. Guess I should take a small team and go and investigate to be safe.
Alright, sir.
How long has it been circling?
We spotted it a few months ago. It's been... I don't know, sir, not very long. I came to fetch you as soon as I saw it, but by the time I got here, it was already... It made its way down there and was circling overhead.
Okay. See if you can... I know the camp is already under construction, but see if you can keep most of it looking empty from above. So, you know,
Sure.
cover any walkways with tarps and stuff like that.
Alright,
So
sir.
it just looks like the forest floor.
Okay. He
Um,
lights it off.
I guess I'll gather the troops and... Yeah. The troops is in this party.
Troops.
These troops.
Must have been a pretty good roll then, huh?
What?
At the beginning. You're welcome.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah. I'm gonna try and round up the crew and ask them to come with me to go investigate the
Sure.
walrus to make sure it's okay.
Okay. So, it's going to take you about 2 hours to walk through the walrus.
Yeah.
But, are you guys just setting up immediately?
After telling Gek what I want him to do, yeah.
Sure. Sure. So when you step outside, you can see this drake in the distance circling the ship, and then it kind of swoops down to land beside it, from your perspective. Gek, meanwhile, is just like he's whittling away and says, and you know, do you see Big Dragon?
Yeah, I've seen the yeah. It's not that big a dragon. You like real big dragons, don't you?
Well, it's better than none.
That's true.
I'm making second
hopefully-
nif. Mur taught me
Good,
how to do it.
good. Thanks, Mia. Now he's going to stab everyone. That's great, Gek. Did you thank Ruak for the knife?
Thank you, Rurak.
Ruak
okay,
even
Gek.
here.
That's what I get.
I will go. He runs off to go and find Rurak.
No, what? Not right now.
And so Rurak, you're approached by Gek. He kind of climbs up and holds his knife in front of him. Thank you, Rurak. But in Draconic is like, broken the Rurak.
I'll give him a little tap on the head.
It's dangerous while he's got his niff out.
He runs off in the other direction.
So he come back to me?
Yeah, he
or
comes
is
back
just
to Nerd.
puts off?
Okay, I said thank you.
Okay, good. We're going off to make sure the ship's alright. I want you to set up some traps around the camp.
Oh, okay.
But make sure they're non-deadly. And make sure everyone around here knows where they are.
Well, what's fun in that? Best
This
thing
is
about Red
brilliant,
Tooth Tribe
man.
was laughing at other kobolds got stuck in traps. When they fall in holes and nets and things. Very funny.
But did they die when that happened?
Well, no.
Well, exactly. We don't want these people to die.
Well, I guess not. Do I have to tell them where they are, though? Can we not have that be fun, please?
At least tell the surrounding patrols where they are.
Oh, so I don't have to tell like Mura and Murakan, but I think it'd be really funny if it's do I have to tell Zorgar? I think it'd be funny if Zorgar went in a big net and go pow.
That was so funny.
If you don't tell them where it is, it's on you, and I will blame you. And Zorgar might smite you. So good luck with that.
What is that? What is smite?
You'll find out if you don't tell them about the traps. Take at least one of the soldiers with you. Take Sargon with you.
Okay.
He'll watch over you as you set up the traps in case anyone spots you.
Okay. Mur wouldn't make me tell everyone where the traps is. She would think it was funny.
Maybe. She also taught you how to make more nifs there, which will...
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. It's great, Gag.
Okay, I make traps. Sargon! Sargon! He runs up.
Okay, I'm going to round up the posse, and we'll start heading.
Sure. Yeah, so wherever the rest of you guys are, Naren, collects you from your whatever you're engaged with. And then are you guys just heading to the walrus?
Does anyone have any bright ideas how to get there faster?
No, I would just say mainly be concerned about being disguised if there's one Drake overhead.
Are we still on the day of us traveling here?
Yeah.
Then we should still be disguised, I think.
Oh,
If
sick.
it's within 8 hours, it will be.
That means Nautilus and stuff are hidden. You guys will look like Dragonborn or Kobold.
Yep.
And Naren will have his cloak on and his hood up.
Sure.
And start heading towards the walrus.
Okay. Okay, so you get about halfway through the walrus before you see the Drake take off again and fly back overhead in the other direction to the west, back towards the mainland. Then you make your way back down to the walrus, and Jaina and Rathman kind of see you coming and they leap off. You can see the tide has now gone out again, so the island is back, except the tide's gone way out, a lot further out than it went before. So Jen and Rathman climb down, run over and Captain, there was a Drake. Did you see? I take it that's why you're here.
Yeah, that's why I came back immediately. Did he spot you?
Yes. He came down, had a chat. Nice guy. I guess. I don't think he bought our story.
What was your story?
We told him we were sightseeing, sir.
Oh no.
Marzier said something cryptic and we had to run with it. You know how he is.
I know I'm not the perfect example of coming up with lies and false stories, but we've been doing this for years.
We tried. We
And you said
used all.
sightseeing.
We went with all the best ones. We said, yep. Our captain is Captain Drake. This is the Malevolence. We're here sightseeing.
Oh.
And then he was like, what was his name again? I don't remember. Endris or something. Yeah, he was like, well, where's the captain? And we're like, he's not here right now. He's sightseeing elsewhere. So, sir, we're sorry. We weren't expecting a big. It's really. I've never seen one of them before.
Yes, you have.
Have I?
Wait. Maybe.
I've seen a bit. Well, okay. Well, I guess maybe. Okay, I'm sorry, sir. Maybe there's not actually an excuse there.
Okay, well, now we have to move the ship ASAP before they come back. Did he say where he was going off to?
No, but he had like Rathbound's like he was wearing Keldrath livery, sir.
Shit. Isn't there camp to the northeast there?
Maybe sort of Keldrock's. Hang on, let me. Oh, shit. I guess it's mostly it's a bit northeast, yeah. Mostly east.
So he didn't buy your story.
Sir, to be honest, he wasn't going to buy any story because he wanted to see the papers, and we don't have the papers. And then he was like, "Well, let's go to Jacali Harbor because they'll have the papers, there on the records." And we're like, "We don't want to do that." And then he was like, "Why?" And we're like, "Well, we've already seen those sites." I don't remember what we said. He didn't like it.
Why didn't you kill him?
I didn't know that was on the table, sir. Also, there was a big drake.
Well, there's 8 of you.
Did you see it? It was big.
Looking at the soldiers now, expectingly.
Sir, we weren't. I told you guys we should have killed him. Well.
Okay. We need to hide the ship somewhere else. We need to forge some type of fake papers. Fuck. There's also a shit ton of patrols now, isn't there?
Yeah, there has been an uptick in serious patrols.
Have you managed to, I'm asking any of my crew or soldiers there, have you managed to at all map the patrols and see if they come at regular times?
There's roughly one every hour, sir.
One every hour. Oh, shit.
It varies because I guess because of the winds, and the tides, and everything. But roughly speaking, it's about once every hour, at least during the day. We don't really have a good metric on any nighttime patrols. Presumably, they're less often.
Don't really know where to hide the ship now.
Me either, sir.
I don't suppose anyone in the party has a mad hide ship spell.
I was just looking.
Cast
Oh,
greater
yes,
hide
yes,
ship.
hide.
Cover it in plant stuff again if you want.
That might work, but we need to put it somewhere else because he saw it here and he's gonna come back.
Now.
Is there a forest nearby?
What are you trying to? Why are you wanting?
I'm going to ask, how many people would it take to carry the ship?
To carry the ship?
Say, did we
Because
not?
we have around 200 people.
200 people could probably carry the ship.
Can we shrink the ship?
I was about to say, I remember we talked about this before because the wording of enlarge and reduce doesn't have a size limit on it. As long as it's an object.
So we could shrink the ship, carry it inland. The issue is it would expand wherever we got it to. Is there anywhere around the Tiamat shrine that... Oh, that's a 2-hour trek, though, with a fucking ship. I feel like someone would see it.
I think your issue would be that you, like, 200 people could carry the ship. It's just whether 200 people could feasibly fit under the ship to be able to carry it. If that makes sense, because you're kind of limited by that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to make some weird Google search now. How heavy is a ship?
Is there a nearby forest? That's the first question. We need somewhere to hide it.
There's the one.
Or, once again, I'm asking for oh, fuck. I've forgotten the name of the movie now. A Goonies-sized cave. There we go.
Yep. Good idea.
This time, though, the Goonies-sized cave doesn't even need to have water. Just as long as it's big enough to fit a ship.
Jay, would you say the ship is a medium, small, or large if it was a creature?
It's gargantuan. If it was a creature.
It is very, very big.
But is it medium, small, or large?
Well, neither of them. None of them.
Out of those three,
It's the secret fourth option, which is too big.
Does the
Is it
string still have
also-
like a limit? Sorry.
You're watching?
I was just wondering if the string still has a limit.
No.
Cool.
So if it was an object, would it still be gargantuan?
Yeah.
Right. Is it large for that, or is it?
What do you mean?
What's the scale of it?
So
Just trying to check.
large is 10 foot by 10 foot.
Uh-huh.
Gargantuan is 20 foot by 20 foot or bigger, so it's gargantuan.
Okay. So then it would be a large boat if I shrunk it.
No, it'd be a huge boat.
Oh.
There's one in the middle, which is huge, which is
it's
15 by
large enough
15.
in here. Cool. Well, it'd be a huge boat then.
that's not gargantuan.
It isn't gargantuan. Oh.
What would the weight of a huge boat be?
I'm trying to find a figure now.
It's an eighth of what it was. Wrong spell. The weight is reduced to 1/8 of normal, so whatever the ship weighs, 1/8 of it.
Ah.
Okay, so I guess your ship is kind of like a brigantine. It's about the same kind of. How heavy is a brigantine? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find this information out.
But if huge is 15 by 15, then you know this ship has got to be shrunk to 15 by 15, so how many people would it take to carry that?
But it's not as simple as that, mate. Mass and size, how heavy is a cubic meter of feathers compared to a cubic meter of steel?
Matt, how necessary is it that all of your crew is here on the island?
The crew themselves, not massively.
Because it seems like we're not going to need the ship if we're planning on trekking 2 hours carrying it inland. So could we not get the crew to just sail away?
They'd have to sneak past the patrols and hope they get out, because if they don't...
Well, the patrols are just patrolling around scale, right? They're not like they're just going around. If they just went straight out with the wind, if we time it right, and then we could give them a sending stone or something and keep in
Feral
contact
has a
with them.
stone.
Yeah, so we could ask them to come back if we really need them to. Only problem is if we get into a tussle where we need to get away quickly. I mean, it was going to be hard to do that with the boat anyway, but without it, we'll probably be having to leave some people behind. If anything bad happens. But assuming it doesn't, it's best probably to just get the ship away.
Probably. Yeah.
Because, yeah, if we have to take it inland, that means we're going to have to take it outland at some point. And I feel like we're probably going to need the boat for quicker
We'll
getaway
have to
than
return to land, and the closest place is a couple weeks' sail. Or week-ish. I don't know.
See, I think as best I can find out, you're looking at something about £30,000 is the weight of that ship. It's probably more than
Okay.
that, but I don't actually know.
What's an eighth of that
An eighth of that.
then?
Well, it's about just shy of £4,000.
Easy.
How many
What's the
people do you
problem?
reckon could take to carry £4,000?
Well, that's 40 Jakes. So
That's a,
so how many people?
imagine one person can carry a Jake, especially if they're Dragonborn.
Yeah, so probably about 40 or 50.
So 40
folk, yeah.
Dragonborn. Nice.
Doable.
But I'm going to contact Feral on the stone. Drake found the ship.
Those fuckers.
Yeah,
What did they?
They're going to,
Well, I mean, they had some story, right? You know, they had a cover.
you know, I've discussed before about acting classes, but they just didn't have the story together. They said,
What did they
"We were here
say?"
sightseeing."
I mean, I guess that's sort of correct, but it's not like, you know.
Look, come on. I know Captain Drake is a good joke, but when there's someone knocking at the ship asking for papers, you don't use Captain Drake and say we're sightseeing. Especially when we're in scale.
To be fair, I don't know what I would have said. I guess I would have used the silk plane, except we don't have any silk.
We have the
And there's
sample
vines all
still
over the
in
ship.
Okay, yeah, that's a bit tough to explain.
Yeah.
The point is, we're left with two options. We've moved the ship, hope it doesn't get found again, one of which within is a sub-option of shrinking the ship and carrying it inland.
You can't shrink the ship. I will not stand for you shrinking our ship. It was
We'll
made
go
the size
back
it
to the
was.
normal size
We just
afterwards.
made it bigger. I'm not seeing it get smaller again.
It'll expand again after a little bit. But the other option is you and the crew take the ship away from scale.
Well, that's no fun.
It's no fun, but I'm not sure what to do. That Drake is going to be back with backup soon.
Well, we just need to leave, right? Like, we need to get the ship away from where it is.
We need to get it from where it is. Dodge the patrols.
So if we're shrinking and hiding it, then we probably have to hide it, like, you know, reasonable ways away, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise they'll just
Probably.
notice it if they come back. So
Yeah.
we'll probably have to sail it somewhere and then shrink it and carry it inland anyway, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, when do you think he's going to be back?
I don't have a clue. He flew away on his Drake. He could be back later tonight or tomorrow morning. Might be busy. He might have found other sightseeing ships on the coast. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Just even moving it a little bit inland is probably going to be better than sailing away because they're not going to be looking for the ship, not in the water. That seems like a dumb place to look for a boat.
Yeah, but then if
Yeah,
you're
but they'll be
flying
flying
a Drake
over.
overhead,
Oh,
you can see a giant ship inland.
And they won't be
Smaller
sailing.
than usual. If it's under some trees.
They won't be flying like out in like the ocean. They'll be flying over land around the coast.
True.
What, do they know who you are? Like, did they get that?
They got Captain Drake owns the ship. That's what they got.
Right. Okay.
But Captain Drake was elsewhere sightseeing.
I mean, they must have some kind of idea Otherwise, I don't know why they'd have come looking for us, right?
Probably, yeah.
So if we move the ship, are they likely to search around here anyways? Like, are they likely to check up by, like, the shrine and everything?
Oh, shit, probably. Probably, yes.
Because, I mean, the way I'd look at it is, you know, we've got either we do, you know, either we up sticks and move somewhere else, or sail off, or whatever, and try and keep the secrecy a bit longer, or you just, you know, come out in the open and be like, yeah, this is who I am, this is what we're here to do, get fucked.
But then they pop the Navy round here and they explode the walrus into a million little bits.
Okay, well, I don't like that, for one.
The walrus can't withstand a Navy. If we say we're here and this is what we're doing, the ship's gotta get attacked.
I say, we do have mass suggestion, and we could make a bunch of props to make it look like we were actually sightseeing. Just they come back and go, hey, oh sorry, we're out sightseeing, here's the papers, you know, here's all the cool shells we found, you know?
Well, people back at command know that a ship went missing when it was being guided round to the lower city. Now another ship matching the same description has been found covered in vines, sightseeing, with a different captain, because fucking who knows why my crew didn't use the alias I
we
used
could
when we were
just
coming
say
here.
that your nickname is Captain Drake, because it's
Yeah,
funny.
he said we can't
Yeah,
say
that's
we
true.
did.
We could pretend that the crew was drunk when the dude came out.
You say pretend.
Well,
do you
you
have
know.
any rum left? Because I could really use some. If you touch my captain's rum, you're dead. It's coming out of your wages.
He says, I mean, and then the stone like runs out of juice, and the line goes dead.
I'm gonna ask Jenna and Morzia if they've touched it.
No, sir. Captain, I didn't even know you had captain's rooms. You have captain's room?
I know you're lying. Shut up.
He's so mean.
I don't know what to do.
Well, we're either moving the ship or we're bluffing our way out of it.
I think the fact that Lydia can just make people think things they didn't actually think means our chances of just talking our way out of it is pretty good, actually.
But we have to wait here until they return, and we don't know how many of them are going to return.
Sure.
Also, they're on high alert because they've started a war, and then also they know that we're coming for them. So if they find a ship on the coast that's suspicious, they might send a rather large force and
How
scout out the
threatening?
entire area.
How threatening do you think your crew look? Honest.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being threatening, I'm going to put them at a solid 4.
That's right.
You know-
would have rated us. Yeah.
In all honesty, if I came across a bunch of, you know, like 5 people on a ship, going, oh yeah, we're sightseeing, I would have just assumed they're selling drugs, which I assume that's what you usually do. So,
What? No,
chances
you
they
don't
think they're a
want wheat.
warship. Oh, you. Anyway, chances they think you're a deadly warship are probably less than the fact they think you're drug dealers.
Okay, is that better?
Probably. You know, if they thought you were a warship, you'd probably have just eaten most of you. Forgot this dragon tea. Or at least taken one of you's arrested you or something.
Right. How high was the footbridge down at Jahali Harbour? And how much has the tide risen?
Tide's out now.
Yeah, the tide's way. Like the ship is almost grounded right now.
But when the tide comes in,
When the tide comes in, it arched, so like you probably still wouldn't make it.
even if we had a running start.
Ships
Hey,
tend
what
to
do you
lie
mean?
pretty low in the water, don't they? So
Like when
Are you talking about trying to sail over it or trying to like lift it over?
well, no, if we were gonna lift it, we'd just go round the bridge, wouldn't we?
Sure.
We also
I was
have an
confused by the running star.
I meant running start as in like full speed sailing,
I mean-
ramping off a wave, jumping it.
but we also have magic, so we could just tidal wave the place.
Water.
But what Patrick said, kind of.
But then the question is, could we hide it up there anyway, up that beach?
Yeah, this is another problem we had before when we were thinking about it. It's like there would be no ships on that river ever anyway. So if anyone saw us sailing up there, people would be like, "What the fuck is happening?"
That's true. That's true. I don't know what to do. I'm open to suggestions. If people want the ship to sail away, might have to.
I think we could bluff it, but only if we got papers properly.
It took me a while to get fake
What?
papers for.
Hidden
Well, we
on land, but
forged
Got
them.
a spell. I'm not sure if it would work that way, but I don't see why not. I'm kind of.
We could also message Malbrin and ask her just if she can mock some up and send a picture to us, and then I could try and replicate it.
But surely the essence of the forge is how well you replicate actual documents.
So I've got a spell called Fabricate now. You convert raw materials into products of the same material. So we could get some paper stuff.
if we can get
We can get
our
paper.
hand on someone else's papers,
Mm,
your
Yeah.
duplicate and forge our, name on it.
So yeah, we can get Malvern to send a picture. Wonder if that.
Right,
Would do.
how long of a what time of day is it, Jake?
It's about 9 o'clock at night. It's getting dark now.
I would assume Malvern would still be up at 9 at night.
I might be busy.
Do you think Jacali Harbour has much of a nightlife? Do you think we could go into Jacali Harbour, go into a pub, find some drunk sailor, steal his papers, replicate
If he's carrying his
them?
papers on him. We also run the risk of, if the name lines up with, like, maybe they know the sailor, maybe they've already checked that sailor's.
Well, surely we
documents
forge
and
it so
know.
it's at a different ship and a different cap.
Sure, I guess so.
But we're banking on Jacali Harbour having a good 2 a.m. nightlife.
I feel like
also-
Chicali Harbor is going to be in ruins because of the fucking sea level rising, though.
Oh shit! Damn it!
There's a harbour that never sleeps.
I mean, they
Yeah,
could just be
never noticed
partying
that.
for the pain, that's true.
If it's in ruins, could we
Demons.
have our document like signed and stuff predating the ruins? If we just go there, pick up some old soggy, ones that they have in a drawer, duplicate that.
I mean, I think it's worth going there anyway, just to scout it out and see.
Mhm.
If this
Yeah,
is going to
let's-
be a major part of our plan.
Yeah, I guess Raph and go with somebody and have a look-see. And the rest of us stay here and make it look like we're sightseeing? I don't know.
Yeah, just in case they come back.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
We'll split into 2 teams.
I will stay with the ship in case anyone comes back, because I've got a bunch of the...
I will stay
else we
with
need?
the ship because these guys are awful at lying.
Can I attempt to stay here and would the fabricate spell work like that, Jake?
What are you trying to make it do?
Make papers.
Uh,
If I had a picture of what I wanted it to say.
let me read it. Fabricate.
You would need to be disguised as Dragonborn though, because it might look a bit fishy for a human and an
Oh no,
elf.
everyone's
like
disguised
seeming.
right now. Like, I've got seeming on everyone.
Ultimate.
If
How are
it
you
wears
guys
off...
going to get down there though? I thought the reason Harafin and stuff were going was because they can get there faster.
Yeah, well, Raffen will just be a bird or something.
Does that not affect seeming at all when he goes back to being himself?
You can just hide.
Yeah, I don't
Guess he
know
could
if
stay
it
as a
would
bird.
actually, because it's to do with my own. It's my own thing, and casting spells doesn't affect it, so I don't see why it would. He might look like a bit of a mangled bird, actually. I'm not sure.
A mangled bird.
Dragonborn bird.
A weird scaly bird, maybe. I don't know.
Wait, Harafin, how long do you stay as an animal when you change into it now?
Well, I can stay if I go into like a little animal, like a regular animal. I can stay as long as I want. because
But
of my
like a
robes of-
bigger animal that someone could ride.
Well, if I'm doing that and I'm using a wild shape, it's 4 hours, I think.
That's enough? Although I'm not sure you can turn into any scale wildlife, which would be drakes and... What kind of ground transport do they have, Jake? I assume they don't use horses.
No, they usually use big lizards. Big pack lizards. They're kind
You
of
just
like...
find a bird nearby and Kraken looks at it, you'll probably be able to turn into it.
I'll
It's not
just
like a
bone
huge,
up on
big
birds.
thing.
Maybe there's migratory birds to scale. Like a scaled swallow or something.
It is winter.
there are a couple of passages, Izzy, that may affect your spell. So you can convert those materials into the thing. That's fine. The quality of objects made by the spell is commensurate with the quality of the raw materials. So if you have the better the paper and ink you can get, the more legit your copy will be.
I would have a stock of papers and inks and
Yeah.
stuff that would be high
That's true.
quality.
Yeah, that's probably not going to be a problem. You also can't use it to create items that ordinarily require a high degree of craftsmanship, such as jewelry, weapons, glass, or armor, unless you have proficiency with the type of artisan's tools used to craft such objects.
I was going to say, I have proficiency in cartographer's tools, and I was wondering if I also had, if coupled with that, with getting a picture from Malvern if she was able, would be enough
Um,
for the art and design department.
You'd probably want calligrapher's supplies to do it like
Ah.
legit. But I would say that cartographer's tools are still better than nothing. So you could probably,
Oh, it's
you
better.
could probably get a pretty reasonable approximation.
Or if Lida was better at just writing nice things, just I could make nice bit of paper. You could draw on it.
What kind of
Forget-
check would that be? I don't really know.
It would probably be calligrapher's supplies.
I don't have any of those, I don't think. But also I do I write spells as a part of my class thing, so I guess that's kind of like high quality paper, high quality ink.
Yeah.
A good
Nice
quill.
handwriting.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I can't remember what I was gonna say. Never mind.
As a joint effort, would we be able to at least try?
You'd definitely at least try it. Yeah, it would probably work.
Oh yeah, we could always make up some excuse for them being a bit damaged or shitty looking
Tide
by.
came in and damaged all of our supplies.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Just do the
exactly.
thing.
That's what I was
Our
gonna say.
papers.
Do the old homework excuse. Just throw it in a puddle before you go to school. Like, oh, I did, but.
Well, like it's because the fucking ship is almost like aground now anyway because of the tide. We could have just said what actually happened, that we were camping there. And the tide came in and it ruined all our shit, including the papers a little bit, but you can still kind of make it out if the papers are bad.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. So we should split into 2 teams. One sits with the ship and one makes their way down to Chicali Harbor.
Yep.
Who wants to go on what team?
Well, what's the Chicali Harbor thing for if we're doing
Because don't you still need papers to replicate off?
I'll stay ship.
I guess.
Because do you know what scale papers look like?
No, but the whole point was asking
Malvern.
Mulbrin if she knew.
Oh, okay.
and
I
getting
mean,
her
if
to send a
you
picture of
can
the sending
just-
stone.
If you can just replicate them without, then sure, let's do that.
It might be
Well,
worth
much easier.
and going over anyway just to see what's happening. Also find a tree for teleporting.
Yeah,
That's
a little
true.
scouting mission for Raffin.
Sure.
And
let's
he's
do
the only
that.
one that can go really fast anyway, so
Cool.
Okay, so what is your
Okay.
guys' plan?
Ring and Mulbrit.
yeah, we're
Okay,
gonna
do
send
that
in
first.
Mulbrin.
Also, if I go, I can set up a Daisy highway connection to.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring.
Mulbrin.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Long time no speaks. We were wondering if you knew what scale papers looked like, and if you could forge some and send a photo with the sending stone.
Or even just what they generally look like. Either's good. Also, if you
Yeah.
see the new moon.
Jake, have I noticed the new moon?
Yeah, you've noticed the new moon. Anyone
Yes,
who's
I've
anyone
noticed
who everyone who's anyone has noticed the new moon.
Buddy, who's anybody?
See that new moon?
I'm guessing that was you.
Not
What's a
intentionally.
guess?
Good job.
Also, look at the pirate man.
Nice.
She's found Jesus.
A little bit.
Well, Jake, I probably definitely know what scale papers look like. I would think.
Probably, but why do you seem like you have a specific reason in mind?
Because haven't I helped supply people for the cause?
I don't know. That's been a kind of hazy subject. I have not been
we've
clear
never
on whether
talked
there have
about
been spies supplied or not. Either way, you probably will be. You will either, you got asked about it, so you would probably have had. You probably either have done the research yourself, or one of your lackeys would have done it. So you would probably have an idea of what the lay of the land is with regards to papers.
Well, yeah. If I have a visual, I would probably just send that over. Or if I had someone who could mock up a visual, I'd do that.
Oh, legend. Thank you very much. How's it going over there? You good?
Yeah, so good that I can't even tell you about it because man, it's just I haven't even slowed down to think about what's actually happening at all.
Oh, that's
It's just
exciting.
been so fast.
Make sure to take out some time for yourself, though.
Yeah.
If you ever wanna
Continue.
join back in scale, we can get you back in like 2 days.
Yeah, well, whenever you're not on that island, hit me up.
Fair enough. Yeah, maybe we should have asked her if she wanted to come to the moon with us.
The moon wasn't worth it, gotta say.
No, that's true.
I've whispered you now with some information that
Mulbrin
one
might
might
be
know.
really useful on the moon, though.
Mulbrin would be really useful here.
That's true, but she really doesn't want to be here, apparently.
I don't know, maybe
Scale
she
is
has
one
some
heck of a
bad
place. We are
times.
going to war.
What is it here for?
Yeah.
There's a lot of typing going on. I don't like it.
Also, fast typing. The
Just
speed
flex
typer
on us.
versus
a
speed
minute
typing.
kind of speed.
He's just flexing on us, man.
How do I whisper you, Jake?
I think you do /WGM.
Good old effing ourselves.
Nah, it's easier this.
Right, so let's get our story straight here. We are sightseeing We have the papers.
Everyone's
Captain
actually
Drake.
drunk.
Everyone's drunk, maybe slightly high. Captain Drake is a funny nickname.
It's not my actual name.
It's not your actual name. You need that.
I could pretend to be Captain Drake. Because then I would look like a child, and I would be like some random rich child that just has a ship, and I was just like, I want to go sightseeing.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Oh boy.
But if they were speaking Draconic to me, I will not know what they're saying, so probably not.
Yeah.
Languages.
Could do that. But I wouldn't be able to speak it, I'd just be able to understand it.
Just act like you're
I comprehend you.
Just act like it's all dick, like you don't want to talk to them. But
We don't want to piss them off, though.
All right. I can do that. However, it's not a get out of jail free card because they have backups in their archives of everyone's papers. So
Right.
Nerds.
if they had any suspicion on it in the slightest, they can just go and check to see if it is actually legit or not. So this would only work if they were 100% sure that just by looking at them that it was fine.
Well, by the time they've gone, we'll have. I assume that would take a while for them to go and check if they really wanted
It's
to.
probably a pain in the arse, but they
So-
could do it.
It would at least get us out of trouble this time.
Well, the thing is, though, if they checked and came back,
But I'm
we'd
saying
have
is
to
it
leave
would.
the ship still.
Yeah, but that might give us more time than
Well,
just
do we
taking
know
over.
any better names? Like names that would actually be in their files or whatever?
Yeah, but they would be registered at a certain place, wouldn't they? Be like they're docked here.
Well, they don't have the internet, so they wouldn't know unless they went and checked, is what I'm trying to say. So would they bother going to check? And if they did go bother to check, that'd give us enough time to do something better than pretend we're all drunk.
But yeah, they. Does Naren know the name of any ships? Not famous ships, but ships he's had dealings with coming to or from Scale.
I mean, there's the one you came here with, the Fog Runner.
Did the Fog Runner say whether they were heading back to the mainland or whether they were staying here?
They said they were just going to Ormonth.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Well, I think it's just kind of whatever then. We'll just have to hope that the forged papers are good enough that they won't check it, and with some, thingamabobs, spells, it might be okay.
Okay, yeah, let's just hope for that.
All right, Malvern, can you send us a bowl with the stones?
Yup.
And then we'll get to work.
Sure.
Thank you, Malvern.
Malvern, you don't have to do a check or anything like that. You'll have if you send spies over, you have had ample time to get fake copies made up and stuff like that. And you can fire one over.
Assuming I'm getting paid, then yes, I've said spies.
Yeah. Do you guys want to? Can we settle the spies thing right now, so that I understand what's going on with the spies?
So the thing was, I was paying Malvern with the money we got from the dragon, and I said as soon as I knew someone was coming down that I wanted to get rid of that money as soon as possible. So I'm fairly sure I would have paid Malvern and sent money wherever else it was needed, like the ship as well was one of them.
Sure.
Getting the ship done up.
Okay. So how many spies has Malvern sent? And did they come
How much
with
money
you
was
guys
it?
on the ship, or did they arrive separately? Or...
I mean, I had intended for them to arrive beforehand.
Okay.
But what were your expenses again?
Right, I don't remember, but from what I believe, I think I quoted it at like 1,500 per spy. And I don't know if that was all. I don't know if that was like for a specific time.
I'm also gonna be honest. I don't remember how much money I had to spend. So with not knowing how much I had and not knowing how much it costs, I'm going to say 4.
4 seems reasonable.
We'll call that a flat fee, 1,500. That's you get them for however long it takes.
Cool.
Because
Thank you.
I don't remember.
Okay. Let me write that down. So, Aaron has 4 spies. Okay, so the handout that I gave you guys with all the information on scale plans and stuff like that is probably, that information is probably in part due to the information that Melbourne spies have recovered. But if there are specific questions you want answered, you can pass them to the spies. I don't know how you would do that. You probably let Melbourne know, and Melbourne has some way of telling the spies, and they will try and answer those questions for you.
Okay.
For the next spying period. But yeah, Melbourne's able to send over an image of the fake papers that the spies used to get into scale. Via sending through them. So that in mirror you receive that to do with as you will.
Right, so you got nice paper on you, Lydia?
Yeah.
Right. So what do the papers look like? Do they have fancy borders or?
Yeah, they've got
seals
gilded
or
borders. There's gold leaf. There's an embossed stamp of the Clan Zuros emblem, and kind of there's something weird going on there with that. It's kind of like on a tanner or whatever, like a little hollow foil thing, kind of similar thing going on there. It's Chinese. It Chinese. It shines. But otherwise, it's basically just it's quite a thick piece of paper, but it is basically just a piece of paper.
Okay. So if I use Fabricate to try and do the borders and the seal and stuff, and then Lydia does her nicest handwriting.
Yeah, you can probably give us a. How does Fabricate work? So normally Fabricate, you just do it. But if you're just trying to, if Mira isn't using the spell to forge the text, then you can just do that, and you get a blank sheet of paper that matches the sheet of paper that the certificate looks to be in.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. So do I have to write on it?
I believe so. I believe that is
Okay.
the plan.
What kind of check would that be?
It would be calligrapher's supplies, but you don't have calligrapher's supplies. So let's see if there's maybe. You could do a history check. A history feels fair enough.
You can have +6.
What details are you writing on the papers? It has fields for ship and captain and date of
Aaron, what do you want?
incorporation.
Captain Laffer Baxon. Laffer spelled Lapher. And the ship is called the Jackal.
The Jackal. Okay.
Basic, but it'll do.
Any jackals on scale?
Nope. Captain Laffer.
Laffer
Lapher
Baxon.
Lapher.
Lapher.
And then how are you spelling Baxan?
Baxan.
Baxan.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, give us a history check then.
Okay. 15, but
15.
with plus 6, it's
21. Okay,
21.
that's yeah. You're like, that's a reasonable job. That's a reasonable. We've done a reasonable job here. That would probably work. You know, like you know, like your average like city guard or whatever would be like, yeah, sure. You know, it looks like a good copy. It maybe won't stand up to like super rigorous. You know, like the shades of blue don't quite match, but you know, like it's a very slight difference.
Anywhere that it's a bit shabby, can I gently dunk in seawater?
Sure,
So-
yeah. So what date are you putting on as being when your ship was registered?
Is that when you say when it's registered? Does that mean like
Like the date the papers were made, like you know.
so? That would be like the first time you ever came to scale, or ever?
Yeah, the first time you went to
papers,
Suros and were like, hey, I'd like to register my ship, please. So either when your ship was built or the first time you came to scale.
Probably somewhat soonish because if
I'd
just
say older.
Yeah,
Oh,
I would
if
say
If
older.
it's soon, it looks suspicious.
no, but if it's older, then they go, I don't recognize this ship. It's been here this long.
It doesn't have to have been here the whole time, though. It
Yes,
doesn't have to have been here the whole time. Just
that's very true.
that
Yeah.
it came to scale for the first time, however long ago. Naren's 20s. When did Naren actually get the dubious walrus? How old was he?
I mean, that's mostly a you question. How old is Naren right now?
26.
26.
And him and Farrell started off.
Sometime within the last 10 years, then, probably. Kind of, it's up to you, the specifics.
Gonna say 11 years ago.
Okay. So when you were
is
15.
When... Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Young captain.
Yeah, he wasn't a captain at that point. He would have been Farrell.
Oh, like when you actually picked up the ship that is the Walrus, not like when Naren became the captain of the Walrus?
Yeah. When
Okay, that should
Naren actually
whenever you want.
got the ship.
Alright, then.
Well, yeah. So I guess we'll base it somewhat on truth and just say that the Walrus might be older than that, actually. Fuck it. I'm gonna say it was 16 years ago.
Okay.
But it first came, this made up ship first came to scale 13 years ago.
Okay.
There you go. So the papers have got to be dated for 13 years ago.
Okay. So 384.
And we're going to get told that these papers are out of date and we need new ones.
Sure, okay, so yeah, you guys, I take it you're spending the night on the ship?
Yeah.
Sure, okay.
Quick point. Anyone who can't speak Dragonborn, pretend to be drunk and or unconscious, because if someone asks you a question in Dragonborn and you can't say anything back, that's going to be super awkward. So,
Also, stay out of sight so Lyda can make you look like a Dragonborn or Kobold when they arrive. And the rest of you, lightly drink. Control your drinking. Don't actually be drunk. Don't
Okay, sir.
There. You know, sailing level of drunk. Still able to operate the sails.
I have a question.
Question?
Would it be possible to use programmed illusion so that if once the people that come to investigate the papers unscroll the paper, it would look like completely polished papers rather than just reasonable?
Yes, although so programmed illusion is a it seems like it doesn't say specifically, but it seems like programmed illusion is like you specify like an animation to play. But it also says, kind of more importantly, physical interaction with the image reveals it to be an illusion because things can pass through it.
Yeah, but I figured if it was a programmed illusion on a piece of paper that already has the writing on it anyway, if like interacting with it wouldn't pass through anything, if you know what I mean. Like I think that means like if you like tried to sit on a chair that you programmed illusion, they would just fall for it.
Yeah, I mean you can try it. But also, if a creature that uses its action to examine the image, which would be effectively examining the papers, can determine that it is an illusion with a successful intelligence investigation check against your Delcid DC. So, like, if they examine it super good, they'll presumably realize that it's false, and also that it's like illusory levels of false.
Yeah. So my spell save right now is 18. How much do you think they would have to roll to figure out they're fake right now, the condition that they're in?
You're probably looking around about 17 or 18.
Okay.
It's a pretty good copy.
Okay.
So it's somewhere between the the 17 to 20 range, probably.
Okay. Never mind. I will just focus on making sure everyone looks like dragon-y people.
Okay. And then Raffin, you're going to scout out the harbor, are you?
Sorry. Yes.
Sure. Okay. So how are you? Are you wild shaping into something to do that?
Yeah, I think I'll. Sorry, something's happening with my push to talk button. Can you hear me all right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if I turn into just an ordinary kind of bird, or as one, will I have seen something flying around?
Yeah, you've been here for a while. You'll be able to see something that is kind of scalar.
So I'll disguise myself as something ordinary that way I can flit in and out, and I'll fly down, scope the place out.
Sure. Okay, give us a perception check.
$17.
17. Okay, so you take off, turn into a little scale bird and fly off towards the village. It's a little ways away. It takes maybe an hour to fly there. You can see that the tides have caused, the changing tides have caused some problems. But just the way that this, there's quite a lot of beach outside the harbor. So it looks like it's not like totally flooded the village or something when the tide comes in. It's just that some of the houses and buildings closest to the seafront are a little bit waterlogged and are it's pretty reasonable to assume that they're probably going to be abandoned if the tides stay the way they are. You can see there's a bit of a bustle around the town. There's a tavern. People are in and out there. It still looks like a pretty well functioning little village. There is quite a large ship, almost like a galleon, is kind of moored. On the harbor outside the.
Would I recognize any of is it flying any flags or anything like that?
Yeah, it's flying Clan Suros, the naval clan's flags. you can see there's a building in town that has
And what now?
Clan Suros.
Suros.
There's a building in town that is flying the same, has a Suros flag flying from its upper level. Otherwise, you can see there's it's mostly houses and things. There's some fishing trawlers out, just heading out just now, in the kind of the seas around the harbor. There's a tavern. There's a couple of different stores. There's like a marketplace. Kind of basically all the trappings of a large village, small town sort of thing. And it looks like there's a kind of a bustle going on in the tavern just now. You can hear there's singing and music and dancing and stuff like that. And what did you get? 17.
I got 17.
You can see by the Clan Suros building, there's also posters saying wanted. There's no picture on it, but it says wanted Captain Wukax for questioning. And there's a description of Naren in his describe. Captain Wukax.
Wukax.
Wukax with a W.
Wukax.
Yeah.
Captain Wukax. Yeah, there's no picture. Well, there's a sketch of someone that looks kind of like Naren when he was disguised. When you were coming into scale the first time, quite a long time ago. And they get some details wrong. And there's visual description, and it's like, oh,
Was that your nickname or your alias? I don't remember that.
It was my alias when we were entering scale. I just made up on the spot.
And otherwise, it's just basically just a regular town, doing regular town stuff that you'd expect for quite a late hour. There's nothing else particularly of note here, just that big ship and the Clan Suro specific building and that wanted poster.
Okay, well, I'll fly back and relay that to the party.
Sure.
Quite like Captain Wukax.
I'm afraid that name is burnt out though, seeing as there's a wanted poster.
Yeah, but if you came back as some sort of gangster rapper, that would just go in your cred. Captain Wukax.
Naren, are you proficient in any charisma stuff?
No.
Damn.
My charisma's pretty bad. I have 13 charisma.
Oofed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Rurak can.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Buffs for charisma.
Oh, do you want some buffs before you go?
We're not going anywhere.
Go.
You haven't been paying attention.
Welcome back, Rurak.
You told me to get drunk.
I don't see any alcohol.
Oh, it's gone. I'll cast enhance ability on Naren. Oh, Jake's gone. I'll give you.
How long does that last? Because no one's shown up yet.
Yeah, just wait until we see people coming.
I can also cast guidance as a cantrip, and you get another D4 for an ability check of your choice.
Absolutely gonna be charisma.
Hello.
Hello.
So yeah, what is your guys' plan for the rest of the evening?
Actually celebrate and have a good time while also watching out for the incoming drakes or foot
Sure.
patrols or naval ships.
Yeah. Okay.
We should also send word to the people we left at the thing to like be cautious of any overhead patrols or anything. Try and keep a low profile as much as possible.
No fires.
Sure.
We were just talking. Mira and Rebecca both have buffs to give Naren for charisma as well. And
Okay.
people look like chin up.
You'll be getting a little enhanced ability from Marek. How does that work? You're going to be getting Eagle's Splendor. You're going to have advantage on charisma checks. So,
Nice.
there you go.
Wait, how long does it last though?
1 hour.
Wait until we see something.
Hey. Oh man, you're going to have the splendor of an eagle. I'm telling you.
That truly is splendid.
Did what come along?
Marek picks up on other people's accents when he's been around them too long.
He gets other accents when he's nervous.
I forget what accent I have. Weird, it just goes sometimes.
That's his other accent.
Sure. Okay. So you guys, you go down to the ship and you all do your little errands and you forge the papers and Raffin's guys at the harbor. And the night passes otherwise uneventfully. The next morning also seems to pass relatively uneventfully.
I'm gonna keep contacting people back in the cave place to make sure they're all doing okay.
Yeah, no, we're fine here, yeah.
Maybe they're not gonna bother. Maybe we're just like, sure, Captain Drake.
I think it takes longer than that though to fly back to wherever and bring people back. I think we were lowballing it a little with a day.
I just hope they only come back with a couple people and not like,
Shame.
yeah, a huge amount. Otherwise, we might be a little bit screwed.
Sure. So the morning and the afternoon seem to pass without any. You don't see anything happen. Are you guys up to anything?
Maybe doing some ship maintenance.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll be communing with my god.
Okay.
Getting one of the sailors to teach me some normal Dragonborn things just in case, like hello and I'm drunk.
That's a good idea. Learn some basic pass your way in tourist Dragonborn.
Sure.
Where is the beach?
Everyone give us
one draconic phrases.
Just an intelligence check then. Anyone who's trying to learn conversational draconic.
Where's the train station?
Oh, natural one. God damn it. 7.
Table for 4, please.
I just give myself +6 because it's a new day.
Skill check was it, Jake?
Just intelligence.
Oh my god.
Let us
I pick up languages really well.
You really learned how to ask for the menu.
You just like flick through the book and you know it.
I was like, I know half of this shit already.
I got 9.
Like, well, this is really like primordial.
I did intro to Draconic in school.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's see. So,
A+.
Who's here? Yeah. Okay. So kind of some of the soldiers take people and the crew as well. They do a little one-on-ones a little bit. But Rathran is teaching you stuff. You've done. There's a lot of similarities with Draconic in, and the language that magic is usually written in, and a lot of like academic texts. Like it's kind of like Latin. A lot of academic texts will just like throw in like Draconic words to feel fun. and so on and so forth. So you're like, yeah, this all makes sense. You understand how the roots of all the language works and stuff like that. You're like, yeah, okay, yeah. So you can bluff your way through like most. You're kind of like if you took higher French and went to France, you're probably about that level, kind of like, yeah, I can stumble through stuff. Rurak, you're doing okay. You know, it's a good like a lot of the sounds that trip other people up are kind of natural like dwarven sounds that you make, like lots of like kind of throaty noises, and you're like, yeah, this is easy, yeah. And there's also some shared roots between Draconic and the Dwarven language, so you're able to kind of pick up some basic, you know. By the end of the day, you're all kind of like, you can all do hello, you can all do goodbye, you can all say, I'd like a table for 4, please. You can all say, my name is this is where I live, and so on and so forth.
You know the numbers.
Graffin and Muir, you're getting tutored by Morzier, the guy who only speaks in riddles. So it's not going well.
It's like if you're trying to learn English from Yoda.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, you know, the stars shine brightly, but they do not always tell the truth. And then gives you the Draconic translation of it. And you're like, you get all that stuff brilliantly.
We're doing like
he's
ancient Draconic.
Yeah, he's a really good teacher. It just teaches you really obscure sentences. So you can kind of like, you can speak some Draconic. It's not really conversational. It's like the sort of Draconic you speak at like an open mic night.
Slam poetry.
Yeah, slam Draconic. Is that everyone? Yeah. And then, are you all just staying at the ship?
Yeah.
Sure.
Can I make? Yeah. I spend the rest of the day making it look like we're tourists. You know, dumb shit everywhere, bottles, like we're having a party.
Sure. Okay.
I'll do some fishing.
Okay.
Also, always make sure there's liquor to hand.
Yes, fishing.
You can see over the course of the next day that the tides kind of, they're still weird, but they're not quite as weird as they were yesterday. Like it seems like a certain amount of the flooding yesterday was down to the sudden appearance of a third moon. So like, you know, this moon pops into existence, and then all the tides are like, whoa, and like kind of over come in, if that makes sense. So like they don't come in quite as far today, so there's still like, it still, you know, encroaches on the edges of the island, but it's not quite as bad. Like there's a little more, there's actually like dry land on the island that you can see, and there's it's a bit more usable than it was yesterday. And then that evening, you know, as you're like, as it seems almost like there's nothing going to be happening today, you can see overhead there's these 5 drakes come streaking through the sky.
Now's the time, guys.
Party up, people!
Get some spells on Naren, maybe?
Oh yeah.
Aaron's got to get his own spell on and slam a drink.
Yeah, they're moving pretty fast. You've maybe got like 30 seconds to a minute before they arrive.
Okay, spells, please.
Cast guidance.
Everyone will already be disguised already, so it's an
I'll
8-hour spell.
I'll slap Nara on the ass and say what I think is go get him in Dragonborn.
Rurak, we've been over this. What did Rurak actually say to me?
He said you smell like donkeys.
I love you.
He gives you like a really he's really happy with himself smile afterwards, like, off the bar.
Well, to be fair, you couldn't be any worse than that, Naren. So.
Honestly, Naren's happy. He's like, that is perfect acting. That's what we need. That kind of confidence with random shite coming out of his mouth.
I grab a bottle and someone have a drinking game with me to make it look like we're having a party.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna stick by Naren most of the time, just so I have easy. Like, I want to be near him so I can hear the conversation that he's going to be having, but I also want to be able to hide my hands well enough that I'll be able to cast spells if I need to.
Okay, so you're kind of like having your back to them, sort of, so that you
maybe like get a blanket and like
Sure.
Hide under a blanket a little bit, like I'm having a nap.
Okay.
So like near where he's gonna stand.
Sure.
The soldiers have shouldn't be wearing their armor as well.
Yeah, they're just in sort of off-duty clothes.
Cool.
I'll go join Muir as we're both like
Hey!
concentrating on spells at the same time, looking at them intently, just like a couple of weirdos in the corner.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, Muir and Rear exit, prop themselves up against the banister, and just like staring at Aaron.
Thinking really hard.
And this kind of V-shaped formation of 5 drakes kind of swoops around, circles overhead a few times, and then comes down and lands.
I'm also gonna cast Comprehend Languages on myself just in case.
Sure.
I need to listen to the conversation.
You'll know when things go bad because tridents will start swinging.
Well, I'm hoping to swoop in before that happens.
Sure. Okay. Zorgar and Zarzan, what are you guys doing? As the other native dragon draconic speakers.
Understanding what's being said.
Sure, you're just kind of listening in.
You should also maybe try and blend into the party.
I don't think Zarzan blends well to parties.
Okay. I'm going to put a drink in Zorgar's hand and say, just, pretend at least.
I think... Is it even possible for Zorgar to be drunk if he's immune to poison?
That's why I'm saying pretend.
You're immune to disease and not poison. But it takes you like a lot more to get drunk. Zarzan can't get drunk because he is immune. He is like resistant to poison or something, right? He can get drunk. It just takes ages. It's really hard. You gotta be like necking like straight vodka to actually do anything. Really.
Zorgar was just like sitting, chilling out, and then he realized that everyone else was drinking, and he just started just like tanning them.
Sure. Okay.
Can I have learned the Dragonborn word for party?
Yes. You know the sentence.
To party we shall.
Por favor?
You know the sentence, where parties can live, so too can joy.
So I assume that means party as well.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay.
Sure, so these 5 drakes, they swoop down, and their riders dismount. You can see, you didn't see the person riding the drake yesterday, but judging by everyone who was here yesterday's reactions to seeing these people dismount, you can tell these are not the same people that were here yesterday. They're here, they're like, they step off, they've got like this, they're all wearing dragon glass armor, like full plate dragon glass armor.
It's gotta go well.
They've all got this like,
I mean, we can kill them if we need to.
in fact, Zorgar, give us a history check, Zorgar.
Okay.
Zorgar.
History.
When they step onto the ship, I want to yell, "Party!" or whatever.
Sure.
Whatever the phrase I thought it was.
I'm gonna turn around, look at Muir, and give her a look of cool it.
18. Okay, so 4 of these dudes, the back 4, right? The long arms of the V. 4 of these dudes are wearing, the Clan Keldreth insignia is like molded into their armor. It's like red dragon glass. But the guy at the head, Zorgar, you recognize the symbol on his armor is the symbol of the Dragon Knights, the unit your dad was in. It's not your dad, but it's like, it's the same, like, there's like only like 10 or 15 of them.
Yeah, they're high up people.
So he's got to know your face.
No, he's
But you guys are
all
disguised, aren't
disguised. You don't look like
Oh,
Naren
yeah,
Markex.
that's true.
Jesus Christ.
Good. Thank God.
Sitting here like, it's me!
Oh, everyone on scale knows Naren's face.
You can see the Dragon Knight. His Drake is like his Drake has like glass armor as well.
Jeez.
Fuck.
And they all kind
That's
of
cool.
dismount.
That is cool.
Pretty cool.
And the guy in the
Pretty
lead
cool.
says, "Hail!"
Hell yeah! How's it going?
Hey!
Oh, God.
Good
shit.
boy.
Naren is going to look as if he's trying to straighten himself up, but he still has a drink in his hand.
I believe someone came by yesterday. Correct?
Yeah. So my crew member told me. Sorry, I was out for a little wander.
Sightseeing.
Well, didn't see very much, but yeah. Kind of passed out, but you know.
Are you the captain of this vessel?
I am. That would be me. How can I help you? Would you like a drink? A seat,
Can I-
perhaps?
He's driving. He's not gonna want to.
Hey, Captain Drake!
He says, "No, thank you. I'd just like a moment of your time, please. May I come aboard? Me and my companions?"
No bother. Please step aboard. Make yourself at home.
Sure.
We have the
step
nice
aboard.
crates for you to sit on.
There's like this kind of shimmering, clinking
Grab
noise
some
of their
bread.
armor as they, step onto the deck. Like they're especially the lead guys, are big dudes, right? There's a lot of it's like when Zorgar stomps around. You can feel the impact of their steps, right?
Are they damaging the
Dragonborn?
deck?
No, they're not damaging it. They're just bulky.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
Thank
would
you.
you like to step into the captain's quarters and discuss this in there? My crew are a little rowdy.
That seems a good suggestion.
I guess I'm already in there. I'll pretend I'm a child sleeping.
Please ignore the small one. She quite likes this as a wee sleeping den.
I see. Oh, but
Gesture to the seat and take a seat in my seat.
sure, the lead guy, levers himself in. It almost looks like it's effort almost to sit down for him.
This is on my terms.
And his other guys are just kind of standing behind him with their arms crossed. He says, "You're Captain Drake. Is that correct?"
No, I'm not actually Captain Drake. It's a stupid nickname they call me from a stupid night in the pub at the mainland.
I see. Then
My actual name is I am Captain Baxon.
Captain Baxon.
Yes.
He kind of holds this chunky hand out, and,
I shake his chunky hand.
he says, "I am Dragon Knight Draymore."
Nice to meet your acquaintance. Make your acquaintance.
He says, "I understand there was a Keldrath scout here yesterday looking to see your papers."
What did my crew do?
Well, at no point did they offer him any papers.
I apologize. They're not the best crew in the world. Unfortunately, I lost a fair chunk of my crew, and these are all I have left.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Let me just grab the papers for you. Go into my desk drawer, pull out hand them over.
He takes them. He's like,
Sorry, they may be a bit wet. We were camping on the island, but it flooded.
"Yes, new moon.
Yeah, do you know
Wonders
what's
never
going on with
cease.
that? It's
Haven't a clue.
yeah. We lost a good deal of our supplies to the water. Our
Yes, I dare
food,
say you're not the only one in those positions.
maybe not a bad thing. Some of our rum floated away.
He kind of hands the paper to one of the guys behind him, and they like take it and kind of pass it around. He says, "Are you aware that your ship bears more than passing resemblance to the vessel of one Captain Wukax? Does that name ring any bells for you,
Captain Wukax, you say?
Baxon?"
He sounds like trouble.
Name rings a bell. I've had a lot
Interesting.
of sketchy dealings recently.
Oh, really? What is your trade, sir?
Silk merchant.
Silk merchant, eh?
Yeah, that's correct.
Do you have any wares
Unfortunately.
on board?
I'm afraid all we have left is the samples. My first mate robbed me, took half my crew, and most of my silk.
You are
But if
lamenting
you would like
such
some
an-
exquisite silk, I do know some people.
Perhaps. So you are
Lost after that.
the subject of mutiny.
Well, they didn't take my ship. Ship.
Interesting. They just fled
With my silk.
with your silk.
And my money.
And you are celebrating this occasion with riotous drinking.
No, we're drinking
Your
our
crew
problems away.
They seem awfully jolly.
Well, yeah, well,
It's
it didn't
not to
really
be
affect
jolly,
them
it's all
much.
around.
So how much silk are you carrying that some 8 or 9 men were able to clear you out of it on foot?
So you lost some to the tides.
I mean, I didn't say I was a profitable silk merchant. We were trying to drum up some business. We were trying to actually set up a shop in the mainland, but then things got a bit, I don't know, it didn't seem safe anymore. So we decided to come home.
Yes, war has a habit of doing that.
Well, we left before this war nonsense started.
Oh, I see. So, would you mind appraising me of the journey you've taken to arrive here?
You want like a sailing path?
So when did you leave the mainland?
2-3 months ago.
And did you make straight for Scale?
Well, we stopped in at a few ports along the way.
He just kind of raises an eyebrow.
You know, trying to look for my first mate, I had suspicions that he would return to Scale himself.
I see. So you're on a mission of vengeance, right?
No, not so much. I don't have the funds or, to be honest, the effort for that. Just, if I run into him, he's dead.
I see. Well.
Sure, I can offer you some rum. I got
No,
very nice captain's rum here.
I'm alright, thanks. So, he kind of takes the papers back. So, 384, was it? 13 years on the sea?
Actually, it's been longer, but I only had this ship for 13 years. It used to be my dad's ship, actually.
Oh, I see. He kind of looks at one of the guys over his shoulder. He says, "Tell me, Ari, were these papers in effect in 384? And the guy is like, shakes his head. Interesting.
Oh, that is very interesting. It would appear my forger is not very good at their job.
Do you say that my forger is not?
Yeah.
Hold on a second here.
Hold
For
up.
fuck's sake.
He steps up out of his chair, and he puts one hand on his big, like, he's got this big chunky like broadsword, and says, "Forger, eh? Well, it's good you admit to such things."
You know, what was I supposed to do? Can't return home without getting my shit thoroughly searched. How's a man supposed to make a living?
Is there anything else you wish to tell me, Captain Baxon? If indeed that is your real name. Anything perhaps about the fact that your ship is here, vined against a nondescript island, merely a few miles away from where a similar, if not identical, vessel was, shall we say, lost to the Clan Suro's
Allow me
patrols.
to hand you the pieces again. We are a merchant vessel that went missing nearby where another vessel you're looking for was. My crew are constantly drunk. We have come from the mainland and our papers are forged.
Yes, I understand all of that.
Do you know what the underhand term for merchant is?
What are you, Matthew, driving at? Because I don't know if this guy...
I'm just trying to tell him we're smugglers.
Oh, sure, okay. He says, and yet you have no wares.
No, we've been here for weeks. You think we just sit here with all of our wares? We'd get robbed.
Well, what are you sitting here for?
Or worse yet, you'd show up. Why are we sitting here? Holiday?
You say your crew, they ascribe the moniker Captain Drake as a inside joke.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's right.
I don't suppose you know where other instances of that name have been used before?
I don't know. Perhaps you've heard it around the mainland somewhere.
I understand it to be a pseudonym favored by one Naren Markex. He kind of grins a little and then tries to stop himself.
It's a funny coincidence, that.
It certainly is. This whole situation is a confluence of funny coincidences. You wouldn't happen to be able to explain your way out of that one, would you?
Explain? No. Reaching for Nautilus at this point, rather slyly.
I don't know what to even actually pretend. I don't know how to get us out of this fucking situation, even with that shit.
Where is Nautilus right now?
Well, he's disguised as a rusty sword, I believe.
Oh, sure, okay.
But I guess I will say, the one outside who was shouting random things at you rather joyfully, quite a devious one, that one. If you draw your blade in here, I'm afraid we're all going to die.
Oh, I have no
Humans
intention
won't.
of drawing my blade in here unless you do, Captain Baxon.
No. If you've seen this rusty blade, it would stand nothing against your lovely sword you have there.
Yes, no, I shouldn't think so.
I'm gonna.
So,
Okay, fuck
are
it.
you
It's now
going
or never. I'm
to
gonna run
cuff
up
me
to.
and take you back on the back of your drake?
What are
Am I
you
supposed
doing,
to-
Linda?
I'm running up to Naren. I'm gonna pretend like he's my dad, as I'm some sort of. I also casting mass suggestion while I run up, so they can't see me casting mass suggestion. On the how many is it? Is there
There's 5 of them.
5 of them? I'm going. I'm going to suggest to them as a small dragonborn child, um, who does not want her father to be taken away because he's a criminal. I don't know. Um,
I think they've sussed out the entire thing at this point, then.
yeah, well, you didn't make it easy, did you?
I mean, we were fucked as soon as they found out the papers were forged.
Um, that you, that we,
I knew the damn papers
that we
would be out of
admitted
date by like
to
13 years.
forged papers and a stolen found ship. I don't know. Stolen ship. No, I time to actually think through what we want to do, and that they should leave us alone because I am a small child and you should not hurt anyone that has a small child.
Right, hang
Did
on. Sorry, what were you saying, Matt?
Have I been talking to this guy for more than a minute?
Yeah.
Is his hit point maximum above or below mine?
How many hit points you got?
108 or
Yeah, significantly
9 or
higher.
something like that. Oh, fucker.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Also, maybe let's not piss off the clans unless we really need to.
So what is your math suggestion, Linda?
I'll be right back.
I'm going to suggest that they understand that Naren is actually just a random smuggler who has come within. I don't know. I can't think like clearly right now to actually think of the proper wording. The basic idea of what I want them to believe is that he is actually just a smuggler that has come on hard times and does have forged papers, but is not Naren Markex.
Sure, okay.
A smuggler or a merchant?
A smuggler, because he's got forged papers. And there's no way to get around that.
Could be a merchant falling on hard times. They needed some papers.
Okay, so lead guy gets a 20.
What clan are these guys in?
The four kind of backup dudes are Clan Keldrath. The guy in the front, it's unclear.
He is a simple father trying to make a better life for his daughter. I'm gonna pull on the heartstrings a little bit.
Dark eyes. Not really solid.
So
oh
Nate,
yeah. I'll start like you know.
Okay,
I'll
give
put
us-
on the kid voice as well.
Sure. So Letta,
My papa.
wakes up and runs over to Naren. The pitter patter of little halfling disguised feet, and hides behind him, and peers out the side of his shirt. And Letta, you can see that they're still in this kind of V formation, the main guy he's still got his hand on his sword. He's still fine.
I'm gonna look very scared. And
One of the other guys
I don't
is still got his arms crossed. One of the guys at the back is like. Another one is like. It kind of looks like. And there's a guy in the middle who's kind of unclear. What was the last thing you said to him, Matt?
I don't remember. What was the last thing I said to him? I think he raised a smoke. I don't know.
Yeah, well, Lilla runs around the back and kind of pleads with them not to take her daddy away. And the main guy, the Dragon Knight, still he's standing there, looks totally nonplussed and says, "It's a pity we can't choose our fathers."
Pity indeed.
What'll it be then, sir? You can come with me of your own volition, or I can bring you by force. And two of the guys at the back are like, "Sir."
If I were
Sorry,
Captain
that's really-
Mark X,
Does a spell actually go off or anything, or is it like I don't really know? It's a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah. So those are the 5 rolls there. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't look. Sorry.
So the first guy got a 20. One of the other guys got a 20.
Oh.
Two of them got 3s and 2s. Those are the 2 back guys.
Okay.
And then the 11
it's unclear.
is probably also failed, but didn't fail by like a huge amount. So it's still kind of like. He's kind of like, there's two pros and 2 against, so he's kind of like in the middle. But yeah, the main guy who's doing all the talking doesn't seem to be fussed.
So, if I were Captain Mark X, which, you would catch him this easily.
I'm sure he'd think
What
so.
would you do about it?
What you gonna do about it?
Well, the Scale Lord is very interested in speaking with him.
Speaking or executing?
I'm not privy to the Scale Lord's private thoughts.
No, you wouldn't be, would you? What are your opinions on this whole war? Against the mainland, I mean.
It doesn't answer your question.
Because I think it's going to doom a lot of this country to death. You have any family in the army besides yourself?
He's just like, fucking, what the fuck shit. He just kind of sighs. He's like, what is it going to be, sir? And he kind of pops his sword a little bit out of the scabbard so it's easier to draw.
I'm going to raise my hands and say that earlier on was a legitimate question. How does this work? Do I sit on the back of your drake?
Yes, I'll be asking you to surrender your weapons. And we'll restrain you and take you back to Kelbrock.
I'm still playing on the kid show right now.
Yeah, the guys at the back are like, they're totally falling for it.
So, Jake, can I ask?
Yeah.
Is there any water outside the ship currently?
There's quite a lot of water, yeah.
I'm going to grab Litter and jump out the window.
But you're just like, if I
sure.
was Aaron, what would you do? Okay.
I honestly thought you were gonna say, "I'm gonna see if I can get the Kraken on board."
Yeah,
with
that's what I
this."
thought. I was like,
No.
oh fuck.
Okay, give us an athletics check, Naren. Like, you're gonna do it, right? But I just want to see, like, how dramatic it is.
Oh Jesus.
I'm also
Oh, my
screaming to the people on the ship, it's kicking off.
Oh.
Oh shit, not great.
11. Okay, so there's this standoff in the captain's quarters. Guys here. He's got his sword. He's got his sword out, right? And Naren is like, they have this little face off, and like, how does this work? Okay. Cool. And then he just like grabs it up by the scruff of the neck. Leaps out. There's this like almost people on the deck. You can hear this like almost like comedy glass breaking sound effect, and then a splash, and then you can hear Naren go, "It's kicking!" Boom. What is Lyda's reaction to being forcibly leapt out the window?
I probably just to scream, just a wee scream,
Sure.
and then sucking on the
Two
breath
guys
in
in
case
the
I
back
get
are like,
fucking plowed.
oh.
Yeah, so you guys hear Lyda screaming. You can hear commotion inside the captain's quarters, and then the door bursts open. And the main guy has this big like red glass sword drawn.
Time to scatter.
And he kind of points
Need
at
to
everyone
fight.
on the deck and says, "Surrender or die."
Can I cast a spell at him?
You can, but we'll probably have to stop there and pick it up next week.
Would Naren and Lyda be able to make it round onto the deck anytime soon?
Yeah, you could do it in like a round or two. I would think.
Naren's quite strong and fast.
Naren's a strong swimmer, yeah.
He's also, I'm fairly sure he has like his armor allows him to swim as if he didn't have armor or something.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And you also like
See
float
as
if you go unconscious or something.
Yeah, I shoot up to the surface.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you'd be able to make it round in one round, maybe two, I would say. There's a little bit. If you're jumping out the window to then immediately swim round and up onto the deck, then there's enough of a commotion that you'll be able to make it round probably for like round one if there is a fight.
Yeah.
Actually.
Cool.
But yeah, unless anyone is doing anything to de-stress the situation, we'll stop there and pick up next week because there's likely to be a fight.
Good
Is
luck
putting the big
de-stressing
guy
this.
in his orb count as de-stressing?
I
No,
think that will highly aggro
it's gonna.
his
Yeah,
good
it's gonna.
friends.
Well, we fucked it now, lads. We should have just left.
We should have, yeah. But
Yeah.
I didn't
fine,
know it
there's
was
only
gonna be
5 of them.
5 of them. Well, yeah, but some of them seem like big dudes.
Okay,
Some
but
of them
all I'm
little
hearing
chunk-
is free dragon glass armor. So
Okay, so we're gonna
Disguises.
stop there. If you're watching the stream, we'll be back next week, next Tuesday at the same time, and we'll see what happens here next week.